Hi there, it's Michael Andre Ford, your American Angel Intuitive in Texas. I've helped people now for at least 12 years let go long enough out of thinking, out of the details, out of knowing, the type of knowing that blocks possibility, kind of a false knowing if you don't mind me saying that. Out of all the details, the conditionality, out of time, space, out of limits, to get to here, where you know no limits. If you're on a soccer field, this is when you're in the flow, scoring 3 goals in a row. You could be just cuddled up with a book, reading nonstop for hours and feeling like you're in the story itself. There's a big difference between awareness and conditionality, unlove and love. Again, lots of fun and compassion. All the good moments in life happen when you're here. And then, again, all the judging, reacting, fear-based stress, rejecting, worry, you name it, doubt, guilt, so on. Welcome to being human. Unfortunately, thinking's not going away. Now, I've just taped a bunch of 20-second, 30-second shorts, so you can try catching the scent of sage when I light it and blow it through the screen. I put my hand up. You can feel my vibe through 2 screens. It's pushing it a little, but if you just set your intent like you would before you step on a tennis court or walk in for a job interview, you can have a lot of fun with this. The universe is ready to respond. I don't know if many people know this, but the whole point of life is continued growth, learning, expansion. It's not about knowing anything. It's where the intellect, thinking, and all the PhDs and all the institutes can kind of get in their own way. You can be all about consciousness studies and kind of miss the big picture. It's really simple. Have a lot more fun. Have your cake, eat it too. No calories in the cake. So why not catch a little bit of sage right now? Ask angels to bring it to you. You can ask angels any questions. All languages are spoken, all dialects, plus, and this is the hardest and most important thing, picture there's 8 billion humans with 8 billion trillion different thought forms or value systems or ways they believe the world works. The knowing that precludes possibility. That's a lot of knowing. Angels know how to navigate all that to just reach you here and get you an answer for anything in a way that you react positively. So enjoy a little bit of sage. Leave your eyes on the smoke. But if you want to catch some flowers as well, wisteria, lavender, roses, hibiscus, you get the idea. Let them bring you something extra. If you're already super intuitive, super aware, or you trust your gut or instinct a lot, the little voice, like Thomas Magnum and Magnum PI, you can close your eyes and have them bring you your favorite ocean smell, the one you haven't had in a long time. Baja, Mexico, Seychelles, Azores, Bethany Beach in Delaware, Wailea, Kaanapali in Hawaii. Your call. What does no limits look like for you? What are you allowing for daily? That's kind of the rub here. We're all running around doing our thing. I would liken it to Plato's cave, a jail cell where the door's open and we're hanging on the bars at the window looking out. And we never bother to look back and see that the jail cell is open. You can just walk out of here anytime and get to here. People take a lot of courses, go to India, Machu Picchu, search, search, search. You know, we're all seekers in a sense. And yet everything you need to know is within. All your intuitive Jedi skill set, intuitive skills are here. If it's a treasure map, the X is here. You're the treasure. You get to find yourself. It's the last place, to quote Peaceful Warrior, the gymnastics movie, that anybody's going to want to go. Your ego's not going to let you want to go there. Your ego's got a clipboard or a notebook and a pen, and it might agree with something here, and it'll say, we'll start next week, but that day never comes. Or you could agree with me on something. You're right, I really should. Ego's kind of tricky that way. It's like in a biplane with a half tank of gas, but it runs out of gas really fast. What's cool is angels, your heart, you are in an F-15, F-18, and you're a rock star. You just might not know it. Now, what's even cooler here is this isn't about taking any action steps. You can slow down the doing, stop the doing, pump the brakes on that. We're all running around doing way too much doing. This is more about there's nothing to lose, nothing to gain. You've got it already within, all of it. So move past seeing the negative on this. This isn't like a New Year's resolution, which usually doesn't work out. This is about a little more breathing, smiling, laughter. Laughter's love, to quote Mother Teresa. It's about positivity. Positivity itself is abundance, to quote another angel. Learn to take life one moment at a time. If you don't like something, that's fine, but try not to feed it your negative energy. Everything from the neck up is generally like a hot stove. We don't realize it. And we're going to do plenty of thinking this afternoon, tomorrow, next week. We can't help ourselves. But if you did a little less thinking, you would watch your life path open up further. Watch the world open up for you. Watch a lot of serendipity, synchronicity kick into gear. One angel said 7% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal or gold medal standard for us all to walk a smoother path. So let me back up. I kind of am a matchmaker. Angels, Native American chiefs, figures from India, like 20 of them. Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, the Divine Mother, that tiger, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, Sri Kaleshwar, Mera Baba, Mother Teresa, Rama, you name it. You get to meet them, plus Einstein, Socrates, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and so on. Many, many different figures in the hundreds. Light beings as well, and there are beings around the universe, Pleiadians, Atlanteans, and so on. This is a lot for the brain to take in, but just, this is all love and above, unconditional love figures, vibrations that are here to help, but because they're unconditional love, there's no interference. You actually have to want the help. How many times have you been in a pickle, a pinch, a bind, or stuck, and you thought your situation was extremely limited, your options were limited, you were out of cash, something. And now, where are you in life now? And when we're talking about something in the past where you have a better perspective now. Most of the time when you look back, you're like, oh, now I understand why that happened. I grew from it. I'm more confident now. That's not going to happen again. Life is kind of like a pendulum, and we can get stuck up here pretty easily. It's just called thinking. It's a little bit like the movie Casablanca with the police chief walking into the casino saying, I'm shocked to see there's gambling going on here. And a waiter walks up and is like, sir, your winnings. And he tucks the envelope with the cash into his blazer. Okay, so thinking's going on. There's not much you can do about it. You could think about everything I'm talking about and go pretty much nowhere for a really long time. The brain, ego, psyche likes to resist everything that already is. In fact, turn on the TV, watch some news, talk sports. You're going to resist a lot of things out there. You're going to say, that person's a jerk, that person's a jerk. Mother Teresa said it best, if you're judging people, you have no time to love them. You're not going to notice the words unconditional love, compassion, kindness, gentleness in most TikTok videos, tweets, or in news broadcasts and stuff like that. You're the only one that can figure out what this is about. It's more those Jedi, the Force flows from Star Wars. You can see light everywhere. You can see light on my hands. I'll show you my energy right now, but if two people do this individually and they own it, seeing consciousness itself, or love, or the Hindu chakras, it's just the vibration on everything, the trees, your dog. You can see the light flowing between people as well. You are that light if this is going to be helpful at all. We do so much thinking, and especially the more successful a person is in society, and they might have 16 New York Times bestsellers, they might be head of an institute on the lecture circuit all the time, you might be a scientist at the top of your game, but I guarantee you don't have all the answers when it comes to formulas. We practice a type of currency, a type of knowing that precludes possibility, that isn't universal knowing, universal love. You can have any answers to any questions from angels, from light beings, from Native American guides, from a fairy. A single fairy could answer your scientific questions. You have to have the guts to show up. You have to have the openness or the willingness to open openness, the whole Buddhist Zen expression, to be here, to go into the gateless gate, the doorless door, to touch stillness, and to do basic listening. That's all this is. Feeling, smelling, seeing. You're about to do it here. Ask any question, get any answer, all dialects spoken, all languages, plus everything is again said just the way you need to hear it. So if you've got the guts to ask a question and listen, who are you talking to? Unconditional love figures. You can meet your relatives. You can see a pet. You can hear living dogs. I've got 2 dogs right around me right now. They sound like 3rd graders. They're awesome. They're unconditional love. I think humans could learn a lot from animals, plants, the universe. The second we start paying attention, we might get out of thinking a little more. And the thinking that you think, like if you're worried about overseas, there's a conflict going on, 2 countries or 2 groups of people fighting, and you've chosen sides, you're thinking that you're doing daily in a microcosm way. Like you're upset about the pool regulations, or your sports team hired the wrong person, or your company made a bad decision, you're upset about it, you're reacting. That type of thinking magnified and at a much grander scale is the exact same thinking going on that allows for all the bloodshed mankind's done. You know, we've killed hundreds of millions of fellow human beings. So don't take that on. Just put your focus in a positive place. But what I'm trying to point out is the thinking that's allowing us to reject other people, other situations, to define what we think our reality is That's not the way forward for mankind. It's through a little more love, a little more awareness. Call it a spiritual awakening if you want. It's us easing off the gas pedal of thinking to just be more, to allow more what we already have within, our ability to listen, our ability to feel. Imagine seeing light on everyone and you start to get a feel for when someone's BSing you versus when they're telling the truth. That would be pretty helpful. You can see that light right now. Give yourself a break, be in your heart. You'll see white, gold, green. In Celestine Prophecy, they do it this way. In India, they do it this way. Give yourself permission to let go. Ask angels to come in out of your head into your heart and see with your heart, see with all of you, see some of my light. You might also see it on my fingers, my wrists. It could be blue, gold, green all at the same time. If it's rainbow light, stop the video, run out and buy a lotto ticket. It just means you're wide, wide open. White light's all the colors combined. It's the Hindu chakras. What will you allow for is the real rub. And forget about this, forget about angels, forget about light beings, Pleiadians, this, that, your Uncle Joe who's passed over 20 years ago that you love, who's with you all the time, by the way. The real rub is what are you allowing for daily? I mean, you could be the most successful attorney, corporate business person, CEO of a company in Tokyo, making a lot of money, and you've got an amazing track record, best resume in the world, you've done it all. But are you actually practicing compassion, openness, kindness? And maybe you are in your own way. You're doing the best you can at your own consciousness level. There's trillions of layers, like a keyboard going up, of more and more openness, compassion, awareness. And on any given day, you could be in 16 different spots on the scale. You could have yelled at your cab driver, but then given a hug to a stranger and, I don't know, given a hug to a stranger and given them $10. I don't know. Two different vibrations, two different consciousness moments. The goal of life is to obviously discover your unique life path, and angels can help you with that, of course. They can alter your path as well. But it's also just to learn about love. Like, allow more, love more, show love always. Good luck with that. Hardest thing in the world, because we know what we know up here. That person's bad, this is good. I think it's been said by angels, there's no such thing as right or wrong. There's proper understanding. And I think Buddha also discussed when geese were flying through the sky from east to west, there are actually no directional points according to the universe. Everything just is. And that sometimes is our personal life situations. We don't know why we got divorced or why that car wreck happened. And 10 years later, somehow it makes sense. It was just part of our learning curve, part of our development of our personal foundation, that our character makeup, who we've become. And oftentimes it's a launching pad for us to become a better person, both self-love wise and then how we support and engage others. So this is really about more universal love, more engagement with the universe. The universe is far bigger and broader than anyone is talking about right now. So the UAP UFO crowd is going to be very focused on what the Pentagon's doing, what all these organizations are doing. I'm not sure how many people, if it's a yogurt machine in the middle of a warehouse, it's a really shiny, top-notch, amazing strawberry yogurt. They've been circling this machine for 70 years. I don't know how many people actually want to voluntarily taste the yogurt, but it's completely available. You don't have to worry about high-tech crash retrieval bodies or anything like that. You can just go ahead and meet a Pleiadian, a light being, meet Seth from the 1970s. Angels, by the way, come in all shapes, sizes, colors. They live within you, around you. It's trans-dimensional, interdimensional, if you want to call it that. You can see them full on standing there in your yard with or without wings. You can meet them in full on human form, like Captain Kirk and Spock when they beamed down to a planet in the 1920s and they interacted with the populace. You can pinch them on their skin. They'll pinch you. You'll go, ouch. There'll be a lot of laughter. There's tons of love and humor, but there's zero desire to interfere. In fact, me telling you any of this doesn't help. The best knowledge you could possibly have is from direct experience, and that's what I hand to people. I hand it to people individually, but if two people have owned it individually, solo, and they happen to be like twin sisters, they can do it jointly as long as they're getting along. They can jointly see angels. They can jointly feel love in the air, or get a vibration or a smell of Hawaii. They can see jointly, if I didn't say that. I have photos of angels, Play-Doh. You can use historical photos as well. I grabbed a camera and started shooting photos. I handed the camera to other people. I think it's a great stepping stone to use the photos. Historical photos will move. Wink, smile, nod from Audrey Hepburn, an angel. Same thing for Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, the one from 100 years ago in India. He'll wink, move in a photo. We know photos can't move, and yet here you go. And it's a great chance to meet your ego when you do that exercise. In 3 seconds flat, you can get a wink, the nose moves, you can catch an uninvented perfume from France, from Audrey Hepburn, but your brain, your ego, your psyche is going to say, I didn't just see that. I didn't just see her wink. Or, whoa, did she smile? Your heart's like, oh my God, prettiest smile in the world. I could use another one of those. So there's a big difference between being here to be or not to be. Shakespeare got it. Einstein got it. Einstein has so many amazing quotes. And Einstein was trying to teach the world, hey, a little less thinking, a little less seriousness. I think right now there's so much seriousness going on. Could take another 35 years. But one angel said in 3 hours flat, mankind's consciousness could rise up. People would have to want to pay attention, get out of intellect, get out of the knowing, get out of the thinking. We'll call it university level activities. It's much more basic than that. It's just called basic being. It's why kids have got a leg up on all the adults. So angels exist, allow for this possibility and your answers will come. And allow for more in each moment. That's kind of the thrust of the entire conversation right now. I'll throw out a couple more quotes. I love Winnie the Pooh. Some people talk to animals, not many listen though. That's the problem. And I'll add, that's the opportunity for growth for us all. Don't worry about my problem is, my situation is, and get caught up in all the details. Although that's exactly what you're gonna do if it's a health crisis, divorce, job layoff, or something's not, quote, happening for you quick enough. We all have the ability to pay attention more, and it's what Wayne Dyer, Einstein said. Your consciousness level that says my problem is, my situation is, you don't understand my situation, is not the consciousness level or awareness level that allows you to move past your perceived dilemma or stuckness. And by that I just mean none of the good action, resolution of your situation is going to happen when you're up here. That's just spinning. It's the rat race. It's not external. It's not corporate America. It's not this defense contractor. It's not the Pentagon. In fact, the opportunity for all of our growth can only happen in the one place none of us actually want to go. It's here. It means relinquishing a touch of control. It's the egoic control, the resistance, the psyche. It's what Plato said. The first and best victory is to conquer self, to be conquered by self, of all things, the most shameful and vile. And Einstein said, the only source of knowledge is experience. That's all I offer people is the opportunity to directly engage the universe. See light on my hand, see light on your hand, see light flowing between your dog and you or another person. You can see that light flowing from heart to heart. It's kind of like a sci-fi movie, but most of the sci-fi movies are made to incite fear, although some are very beautiful. They're all beautiful because so many hardworking people put effort and love into what they do, their workplace, their projects and their passion. But what I'm talking about here is strictly love and above, lots of fun, more consciousness, more kindness. Okay, and you're good where you are. So I'm going to mention that right now. Everyone is always good where they are right this second. Growth at some level is always being experienced. Long or short path, no contradictions. So this isn't about trying or not trying. So Yoda said no try. Archangel Gabriel said always try. It's not a contradiction. This isn't about words. It isn't about gaining anything or losing anything. You already have everything you could possibly need right here. You kind of have to wake up to that. So I know the whole concept of wokeness has been hijacked, but it's been hijacked by ego. Ego is just all about controlling, telling people how to be. There's only one way to do things. You have to use this word choice. And I think you can figure out pretty quickly that's negativity itself. I'm not really trying to tell you anything. I'm coming from experience. I'm coming from knowing, the type of knowing that allows for the universe to exist in a much bigger fashion. Many indigenous peoples, many other civilizations, many folks among us right now know that there's something up with the universe. It's just a lot of love being offered. And there's healing to be had. Colorblind people have seen color. Again, you can have any smell that floats your boat. And you can meet your cheerleading squad as well. We all have a giant group of supporters, unconditional love. It might be your relatives who have passed over. It might be those pets, angels, if you don't mind that term. Again, they come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. They're from all over. They live within you and around you. They're still technically learning from you and me, but from our perspective, they're pretty perfect. They know your entire life path, your past lives. They know your future. They're here to advise, but you'd have to be willing to get out of all that knowing up here to actually do some basic listening and to take the time to just be like, hey, what do I need to know about this summer? Where's a good place to go on vacation? Could I find a better job? Where should I apply? Should I be really leaving my job to start my own business? You can have any answers to any questions, all languages spoken, all dialects. I speak some French, English. 5 women from Japan one time were at my original Austin home. They were getting answers in Japanese and English. I don't see your answers anymore. I don't see your questions. The record is 49 pages of answers in 9 hours. I just checked in every 2 hours. I remind a person what they've forgotten momentarily. This is all about remembering to remember, if you can remember to remember, when you remember. And even that's not original. Songyal Rinpoche said in the Tibetan Book of Dying, he did a foreword for someone else who was famous, a 2-page foreword, and he said, for 35 years I've been teaching my students, remember to remember. So what it is when you're up here, you think you're fully experiencing life. You think you're at the top of the game. You think your intellect is number one. You think everything is exactly the way you know it, like a Polaroid snapshot. It just is. And that's usually completely false. I'm not trying to knock Plato's cave. I'm not trying to knock the intellect or all the PhDs in the world, but you can draw your own conclusions here. When you're in your heart, that's the only time you can be on the soccer field to pitch and getting 5 goals in a row. Pele was one with the soccer ball, not through the brain, not through the intellect, not through 2 PhDs and a master's hanging on the wall, but through being in the heart, being one with the soccer ball, one with the field, one with the flow state, the force. We're all Jedi. All you have to do is trust more, allow more, think a little less, breathe a little more, smile more, allow a little more shining to happen. You've got a higher self, a soul. The second you let go and connect to it, your eyes are sparkling. You're the person at the cocktail party people are gravitating to. You're not knocking people asleep. I think you can tell people's energy levels at a very sort of basic minimum. If you're not happy, your energy levels aren't there. Get out in nature more, hug a tree, barefoot on the grass. There's a lot of practical ways you can lighten up. Take an extra shower, touch water, go swimming. It's awfully hard to resist being happy. It's a natural state for all of us. And I'll give you the ultimate in what your brain has to say no to. Your ego can't allow for this because your ego is all about conditionality. I'll be happy when, like watch the movie Peaceful Warrior, the gymnastics movie. I'll be happy when this happens. I can't be happy right now. I'm in a struggle. I'm in an eternal war against poverty, drugs, climate change, you name it. Culture this, culture that, counterculture this, revolution. You can be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever. That essentially puts you on the Zen, the Buddhist monk path, the saint path, the universal consciousness, love, openness, healing yourself path. Let go of your details, and when you think you're done letting go, or if you've arrived somewhere, let go again. It's letting go of all your achievements, all your failures. Get over it, get past yourself. Practice breathing more, and let the universe instruct. Everything's your instruction. I think Pema Chodron said that. You can meet Chogyam Trungpa, you can meet Thich Nhat Hanh, Kuan Yin, Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, Mary. I always say 55 angels, but it's more like 155 angels or hundreds if you start counting all the guardian angels. Again, you get to full on see. I've had people see angels right here over my shoulder. You have to be a little extra comfortable about that. If you wanted to put your hand out and have an angel hold your hand, you can do that. A lot of people have to do it with their eyes closed. You can feel the Divine Mother in India, a figure. She rides on a tiger. You can feel that tiger's fur right here. You can get a lick. You can have fairies come up to you with your eyes shut and they'll tug here or touch your earring, or you'll hear bells, a laughter. Fairies are just as good as angels, is just as good as you can do God. You can be Neil Donald Walsh and hear all voices at once talking to you. You've got to really own the angel part. I don't really advertise God too much. You've got to just own it and be really comfortable and not freaked out. A lot of people can do this and then tighten up a week later. So here's the Miranda warning. Your brain will come in and punish you for having been this open and this engaged with love. It just depends on what type of ego you've got. Once you do figure out the difference between, conditionality, unlove, fake love, knowing that precludes possibility, which is, again, 98% of mankind's knowing. We really don't know much at all. We're just sort of in our infancy. Awareness is on the horizon for us. It's coming in. And a lot of us can be quick on the uptake. So good luck to you. Just stay as open as you can and watch what happens. You'll get all the instruction, all the experience, all the fun in the world. You just have to get out of your own way. So there's something up here that's extremely limiting, but we buy into it. Call it the Matrix if you want. Call it Plato's Cave. When you get out of there and you get to here, it was Bethany Hamilton in Soul Surfer. She had her arm bit off. She was all worried that she couldn't compete. She didn't think she was a whole person by losing her arm. There's a moment though, she comes out of the water and tells her mom, I figured it out. I'm good. Like, what do I do next? And her mom was just like, hey, love, and the rest will unfold. And there couldn't be better advice than that. So there's a difference between being here and being here. And there's an angel at the end of my Listening to Angels book named Dale, who coached a really famous gymnast who won a lot of golds that everybody knows from the 1970s or 80s. Dale said himself he comes from Andromeda. That throws a wrench into the entire concept of angels, and it should perk up the UFO UAP community if they wanted to pay attention to something besides college football. The NFL is compassion, love, kindness, and mankind's expansion. You can have any answers to any questions, period. He said that once you figure out the difference between these flows, we'll call it negativity and positivity. We'll call it, again, awareness, conditionality. Unconditional love, conditional love, which is really unlove. It's no good. When you think about hugging your dog, you're not hugging your dog. When you hug your dog, you did love. When you smiled to a neighbor, even if you don't like them, but you meant the smile, that's love. Allow more, love more, show love always. Remain in positivity and love. Positivity is abundance. Once you figure this out, why would you ever do this again? Ego is a complete waste of energy. And that's all humans do. We're worried about climate change. What about the personal climates of all of us? We waste so much energy every day. And now the ego wants to get a clipboard, say, you're right, Mike, and then beat ourselves up over the fact that we waste so much energy. And thank God people don't know that thinking is such a drag, like kelp on a keel on a sailboat, slows the sailboat down. Thank God today the woke crowd doesn't know thinking itself is bad, or they'd all turn on each other and they'd all be putting each other in prison or whatever. Thinking is gonna happen for all of us. There's not much you can do about it except let your thinking be a reminder for what you decide. You're the only one who can figure this out. It's a reminder to take a breath, pump the brakes, go for a walk, touch a tree. Spinning, thinking, the rat race, it's a constant for us. 99% of the time, and 99% of what we know is based on thinking. It's not as real as you think. I can't say any more than that. But when you're here, you are the equivalent of a Buddhist monk having studied for 10 years in France, in Thailand, whatever. You're a Jedi. You're force sensitive. It doesn't matter what I call it. You're practicing love. You're allowing more. You can see the light. You can feel the light. You can make better decisions, more informed decisions. You can figure out what works for you. So once you figure out the difference on this, everyone has a unique life path. Whether you knew it or not, if I had to project or tell you one thing, I mean, angels exist, trust that it's so. Your answers and more will come and they can alter your path, but they'll even show you your unique life path, what you came in to do. If you feel like or you're not on your life path, they'll help you get on it with action steps called John Smith. Do this next Tuesday, walk more, relax more, meditate more. Who knows? It's your life, your details. They know your details. You get to know your details. You have a higher self, a soul. You can see that out the window like an aurora borealis. You have to just, I do 75 baby steps for folks. One act of letting go could be 35 of those steps. Once you're here and you realize, oh, it's as simple as me making a salad or kicking a soccer ball into a goal, or hitting a tennis ball, or walking my dog, or laughter, or singing. There's a million ways to be here. There's 4 million ways to reject everything I've said and reject everyone and everything and say, this is bad, this is good. I reject this, to feel guilty, to react, to stress, to worry, to fear. Oh, it's all fear. So the brain is very interesting, and I don't think it's appreciated by all the quantum crowd. The light is already here. They're out seeking the light, and if they would just slow down, they could experience it. The angel crowd, you could offer them to meet and see angels, and they're like, go away, we're looking for angels. The Buddha crowd, you can meet Buddha, see Buddha, listen to Buddha, Chogyam Trungpa, Thich Nhat Hanh, Kuan Yin, and so on. So there's something called awareness, love, the flow, the force down here, And then there's resisting it all and knowing something to the preclusion possibility, ego, psyche, fear, and so on. Once you sort that out, again, your unique life path, angels can help get you on it. But there's even more than that. You can start to, again, meet your team that's here to advise you. If you're really willing to kind of meet a wonderful, loving group of angels, your relatives, you can chat with them, you can reunite with them if you're gung-ho about it. Yeah, there's going to sometimes be some tears or yawning. That's usually when you're releasing a lot of the stuff you've been carrying around since childhood, your trauma, because you served in the military. There's a lot of stuff that our thinking generates that stays in our field. If we're a ball of light, we've got Samsonite luggage galore behind us. Sometimes that's why our body gets out of whack, our health gets out of whack, our relationships get out of whack. We're not being true to the true person, the true flows within us, and it's gotten out of whack. So rebalancing, recalibrating, doing a little more attentiveness, appreciation, allowing, awareness, angels, a lot of A's. So be, breathe, allow, let go, practice more love. It's just hitting the heart button. And I'm going to argue that it's nothing about this is actually hard. Take a breath right now. Relax. Take 5 more breaths. But when you're ready, take a breath and actually smell daisies come in. You don't have to have a photo of an angel. You don't have to do anything with me. I'll blow sage again, though, just in case. Catch the scent of sage. I did this on 46 shows or 45 shows in the last 2 years. Producers, show hosts, audience members catch the scent of sage through 2 screens. You and I know it's totally not possible. But where is that knowing coming from? That's the type of knowing that blocks possibility and that limits us. If you're a scientist, you're so screwed. You're so limited. Do a little bit of listening to the universe and watch your career take off and actually get some knowing going. This isn't a criticism. You can just keep doing what you're doing. Everyone's good where they are. You're operating by whatever level of consciousness you want. It ain't about the PhD. It ain't about the intellect. You could be the sharpest person doing circles around me, but it's still ego. It's in a biplane that's rickety. It's 1800s or 1920 biplane with a half tank of gas. Can't hang in there very long. Love is love, and it's the actual flow of life, the force of nature. Catch some sage, but if you want to close your eyes and catch an extra flower smell that you haven't had in a long time, let angels, the universe, delight you. And you can hear wave action, your favorite beach, palm fronds if it's Hawaii. What will you allow for is the rub, and what are you already allowing for in life? Are you having enough fun? Forget the angels thing, forget the universe, spirituality, and everything else. Simply, what are you allowing for? Usually we're shut tight like an oyster when we're up here. We've got to have everything handed to us, proven to us. We don't realize how kind of like the dog that doesn't want to go for a walk, how rigid we are, even subconsciously. So this is a lot to allow for. That said, give you a chance with a photo of an angel to meet an angel named Joy. She's the ambassador, communicator, the emotion Joy. She's actually a constant in and around us all the time. If you've ever been excited at a concert, had a surprise birthday party that you were thrilled about, that's her. One of my favorite quotes from the Big Mary, who's tight with angels and is just about compassion. She's love and everything we need. If we all had her faith and trust, there'd be no more need for fear or worry. 3 Native American chiefs said that about Mary. But Mary said, love is a constant. Open your eyes to see love. And that's the classic awakening. If we're talking about Old Yeller, To Kill a Mockingbird, pretty much every piece of literature in every film ever made is about man's transformation from point A to B. Point A is up here, point B is down here. It could be Bethany Hamilton's story, Peaceful Warrior, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, the book, Karate Kid. I could keep going on and on. Sometimes they're really violent. Guy Ritchie's movie Revolver, while super violent with tons of mobsters and everything else, does have a moment in the elevator where Jason Statham actually gets to separate from his ego and recognize that it's not him. That little voice in your head when it's judging, reacting, fear, rejecting, stress, worry, and all the rest, it's negativity, or 1% of 1% of negativity to full negativity, it's not you. You're not your thinking. You're not your thoughts. Now, I know on social media all the time on the positivity channels and so on, you are your thoughts. That's correct too. It ain't about no try, always try, and getting stuck one way or the other. That's the duality of man, the duality situation. Love is love, and conditionality, non-duality, is non-duality. Okay, Here's an angel named Joy. She's got a high, peppy voice. Put your hand out like she's a fireplace. Feel what you can feel. Don't judge. Might feel warmth, sparkle. Try too hard, you get the sparkles on the toes. Ask for a hug or whoosh up and down your back. Let her bring you the scent of sage. I didn't light anything. You don't need me to light anything for you to smell sage. Get tobacco instead. Sweetgrass, pine, juniper, cedar. You get the idea. Wildflowers from Sedona. Ask her a puff, easy question. For 12 years, I've been doing this for thousands of folks. Let go. I have one bit of ruler structure. Hey, angels, get me out of my head, into my heart. Make this nice. Amen, rock and roll. Thank you. Om Saram. Do you know how to set your intent? Ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart so you can actually hear. Leave your eyes on her. Let her do her job. Ask Joy, hey, what do I need to know in life right now? And listen. If you're worried about all this, it's too big of a concept doing basic listening. You'll hear breathe, relax. You got this. Hey, 28-year-old female, high peppy voice. You can see her in full on human form. I had 3 people, I believe, see her jointly at Omega. I always say she's blonde, 28 years old, jean jacket, upscale dress underneath. Of course, they saw her as a brunette. I don't try to predict how they're going to show up. They've got Hollywood wardrobe. They could do circles around our intellect. You could be the second most famous astrophysicist on the planet. You got all the accolades. You're doing speaking engagements. You're making $6 million a week. Angels can do circles around your intellect. So this ain't about intellect. This ain't about intelligence. This ain't about which university you're with. This isn't about how many degrees, how many New York Times bestsellers. In fact, humans love getting stuck in that stuff. This is about paying attention, basic listening, basic feeling, basic sensing. The simplest thing in the world. You're doing it all day long, but the bigger the ego, the less you'll give yourself credit for it. When you flip that light switch on the wall, that's it for the level of difficulty. This ain't some Olympic dive, high dive, or the Red Bull competition where you're jumping from a 100-foot cliff and you got to do 16 somersaults on the way down. The brain would like to tell you that. The brain would like to tell you a lot of things. And so would lots of other organizations, people, and in the entire landscape or industry of spirituality or woo-woo-woo-edness. Same thing with the religions and philosophies and everything else. The irony is sometimes that if you're all about the philosopher Seneca, that's almost the last person you want to meet. You'd rather meet typical people meet Buddha all the time. But if I go to the Buddhist community, that might be the hardest figure for them to meet because they've attached so much importance to it. Same thing for Jesus, same thing for Plato, same thing for angels, or same thing for your guardian angel. That's one big hang up for a lot of us is you could do this for 7 hours straight and do great, getting answers, seeing, getting hugs, getting some healing as well, writing down, again, all your answers. But when it comes time to get your guardian angel's name, the ego kicks in and says, oh my God, this is such a big deal. That's all that's happening. I do it, you do it, every person I know does this. There's very few people who are so happy-go-lucky that they're just like, yeah, I got it, what's next? I had one college woman once back in Austin who I was just amazed. Smile on her face, she was pure grace. Her mom was doing this at the same time. Her mom was taking a little bit of extra time like most of us would. She was like, oh no, I got it. What's next? And I was like, holy cow, this person's making me scramble. I had to come up with new activities. There's always something new to do. Seeing light on your hands, seeing a ball of light, seeing light from angels turn into a figure for you. A running buffalo somebody got the other day, a butterfly, a damselfly, a flower. It could be a piece of jewelry. Light is light. Angels are here to spice things up, like your favorite music that you listen to. Most of us as adults don't listen to music as much as we used to in the old days. We don't go to concerts as much. We don't go out and have fun. We don't go river rafting or tubing. We don't go for as many walks as we should or exercise. Exercising is compassion as well. This is about having your cake and eating it too, no calories in the cake, owning the bakery, distributing cakes worldwide. You own the trucking fleet, the airplane fleet. Every cake equals a smile, and 1 plus 1 equals 111. Somehow that has to make sense. Let me do a few more quotes for you. Everyone out there is pointing in the same direction, the Buddhists, the Hindu crowd. This is just about letting go of fear, letting go of thinking, letting go of the kind of the fake knowing, the type that humans traffic in all the time. To just embrace some more love, to allow more, let the universe come in. Okay. Positivity is abundance. Think about improvement, not about results. Don't get stuck on failures and accomplishments. If more people would listen, less conflict would arise in any given situation. Archangel Uriel said that one probably in like 2014. Compassion is not judging, taking action with no thought. Abe, the Abraham of old, an angel on everyone's team, said that one. Ego is getting lost in thoughts regarding tasks, goals, and perceived accomplishments. Archangel Michael said that in 2014. Slowing down is the key to compassion. Plato said that in May of 2014. Compassion for all is life. Jesus said that in 2014. What is ego? Ego is blocking love. Mary said that in 2014. Everything always happens one moment at a time. Be in this very moment. Allow love and love more. That's from my book, Listening to Angels. That book is probably a 15, 20-minute read. It says 45 pages at Amazon. It was a #2 bestseller on Amazon twice, I think in the Angels category. It's $7.99. If you think I wrote it, thank you very much. I saw balls of light as I was typing. And the cover of the book, I'll pull up that photo real quick, is 2 angels. The whitish one, metallic balls of light, is my guardian angel, and that's Charlotte, the blue one. But I have them in so many other photographs, not just that way. Some people like to say the word orbs. It's not even the orb community. There's silhouettes of angels. There's rainbow, pie slice, triangle photos. So none of it is quite the way you think it is. That's the whitish ball of light, the silhouette. She makes hearts in her photos. Here's Plato. You can see the old man's face. No hugs for him. They're sweaty. These are all at my website. There's videos of angels. My guests on the Angels Positivity and Love show, you'll see a ball of light fly through. One of those was Joy. I had a ball of light, I think it was 2 Christmases ago, fly over my head. Here's a non-orb-shaped smiling Penelope. She's my chief healing officer. Never let her take you go shop. Never have her take you shopping. Carry cash. Don't take a credit card. Angels are really good at shopping. Here's a fairy named Ginger. I have so many fairy photos in different ways, not just this way. Notice the rainbow light on her wings. Again, here's Charlotte. Here's a Mac. Don't call her Mackenzie. Everything plants, animals, and nature. Here's 4 archangels, 3 more off camera. Here's Dale. Again, coach, life coach, coached an Olympic athlete. It's easy to say orbs, but it's also easy to be any part of one group or another group or a community that chats on social media. Because then you've got kind of a crutch and an excuse not to pay attention to the broader picture in your own personal development. The last place any of us really want to go is to our truths of the situation, our current situation and where we could be in just a few moments of letting go. Transformation can be like that. Awareness is like that. Awareness is a constant. Love is a constant. How many times have you been running around yelling love, yelling, hello, pointy bird in the tree? It doesn't have to be falling in love with another person. I mean, obviously that's a high moment for at least a day, 3 weeks, 3 years. I don't know how long people stay in love for. I mean, off the charts love. But I was at a concert once and somebody showed me all the love in the world and I just felt it. It was the biggest experience I've ever had in life. And I don't know if I've ever repeated that. But that's a constant. And thinking anything, thinking something, knowing anything, blocks your ability to be in your heart. That's why mindfulness and meditation are so fantastic for letting go and being and kind of cultivating one of the ways to hit your heart button. But it could be cooking. It could be going for walks. It could be reading poetry. It could be petting your dog and so on. There's a million ways to hit the heart button and learn to be your own Superman or to be your own flower, lotus flower, Radiohead. You can do it through music, breathing techniques, breath work, yoga. It goes on and on and on. The brain has a million ways to take you off on a never-ending story journey, so you don't take the 5 seconds it takes to pay attention to be here. It's that simple, that big. It would change 19 to 4,000 communities out there in a heartbeat. Imagine parents or anybody who's lost a loved one in the last 2 years. It can't be from like 2 days ago. Got to give them a chance to reconcile. You can see and chat with that loved one. I do that for people all the time. I do angels first, talk to them about it. If you've got the thumbs up, the green light, you get to reconnect. You're never alone. You get all the love and support in the world. So if you're having trouble sleeping at night, just take it off your shoulders. If you're having trouble finding a job, if you're stuck in some fashion, go to my website, michaelandreford.com. Check out stuff. I've got 101 physical testimonials. I think 18 or so are videos. They're really good. A lot of flavor, a lot of experiences for people. But the show itself on YouTube is almost like that as well. A lot of guests have taken steps off air, before the show, after the show, and many guests take steps on the show. That's smelling sage, putting a hand up, feeling an angel's vibration through 2 screens. You can do the same thing and follow along. It's usually towards the end of the show, so you got to stick around and watch the whole show. It's definitely a underviewed resource right now that is completely incredible and one of a kind. Who actually meets and sees angels or Plato or Native American chiefs or figures from India on any other show? People can see their light. I often do that on the show. I blow sage. So take those steps, have a little more confidence. The more comfortable you get, the more confidence you'll have, the more you'll just own you. That's all this is about, is you're a sports car. But you got a really big car cover, you know, those protective covers. You might have 5 of them. For some of us that are really complex, we've had a lot of trauma, we might have 5 of those car covers. 1 would have sufficed, but we're really just buried in a lot of covers. And the universe is ready to dust us off, get rid of the dust, a Buddhist expression. Your heart is shiny, infinite. It's already Pele. It already has a soccer ball ready to go. There's a soccer field right there. That's you. Again, it's the classic treasure hunt analogy, but instead of anything external, the X is here. You're the treasure. You get to discover yourself, your actual unique life path. You get to let go of all the details that you think is the drama that's so important to your current life story. I think the #1 exercise you could do to just get away from spirit, woo-woo-woo, angels, light beings, Pleiadians, figures from India, and all this hubbub is write down your life story right now. What are you actually allowing for? Some people would have to write a 10-page, this happened to me, I'm on my 5th divorce, I've got this health issue, here's my financial situation. It's going to be at least 5 paragraphs long. Who's writing that? Probably the brain, the ego, the psyche, the side of you that sees problems. No one gets laid off from work and says, oh, this is my opportunity for growth. No one gets a health diagnosis and says, this is my opportunity to shine more, love more, and be at peace. We all run around and sometimes complain for 10 years or we never let go of it. So there's something to this. And if you just practice over a few months, a few days, a few hours, writing your life story and shortening it, eventually it would just be, I am love, I'm infinite, I'm amazing, I'm cool, I'm having the time of my life, and I don't care who knows it. How short can you get your life story? So there's a little bit of a self-help enthusiasm aspect here. You got to take me with a grain of salt. I'm stuck in the position of being able to see where folks are at and to help them, but I don't like to tell them a single thing except breathe. I'm a little bit like a Nazi yoga instructor yelling, breathe, breathe, breathe. The more you breathe, the more you're allowing the life force, the flow of life to come in. It's like Christmas Carol. He was dental floss for that thing at the beginning of the 79-page book. We all remember Scrooge just one way. He's a jerk. We'd all agree on that. But what happened to him? He did transformation in 30 seconds flat. Dream time, lucid dream time. You know, the story, the Disney movie, animated, the black and whites from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, it's usually 2 hours long. But think about it. He went to bed, and in a period of like 30 seconds, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future came in beyond time and took him through a journey. And that exists as well. You can have your eyes shut, and ancient Egypt comes to you. Thailand comes to you. The Middle East comes to you. India. 5 minutes of our time is 10 minutes over there. People go surfing with their eyes shut. They don't even know how to swim or surf, and they surf like a pro. Angels make it nice, the water, no sharks, and you have a luau on the beach, and you get your next book idea that way. You get healing that way. You would be surprised. And I've had multiple people with their eyes shut sitting like this in Hawaii, seeing each other surf. How is that possible? It's not quite a lucid dream. It's not dream time. It's interdimensional, so that's why time isn't linear. And back to the Christmas Carol thing. We forget that Scrooge is like, by the end of the book, 79 pages later, he's the nicest guy in the world, joy bringer, best businessman. He's got a field, an energy field that goes way out. He's walking down the street in London, and people from across the street are waving hi to him in the future. And they even cross the street and tell him about their day. He's a good listener. He's at peace. He smiles a lot. He laughs a lot. You can tell by the colors of people's clothes. You can tell if they're laughing a lot. Are they sparkly in the eye? Do they have a high vibe? Do you even want to hang out with them? Is this the person you want to buy a house from? Is this the person you want to go into business with? Is this the person you want to have a relationship with? You can see the light on them. You could ask angels, hey, is this the business opportunity, or did I want to go in a different direction? Is this the right real estate spot to open the store? You already know. You've got a navigational compass here. You only have to pay attention more and realize that everything is being given to you 24/7. When are you going to wake up? Yeah, what you think is a very real experience is a lot less real than you think. That's why so many of these movies, it could be indigenous movies, it could be coming of age movies. There's so many movies that point to that sort of transformative moment when you pop out of thinking, either forced to pop out by a car wreck, health crisis, divorce. I had a job layoff with an hour's notice, 72 of us in New York. I was happy as a clam, public relations guy doing exactly what I do today. But instead of angels and humans on one side, I was taking lawyers or venture capitalists or business people and introducing them to journalists on the other. I got an hour's notice, 72 of us. I think I was the only one a little bit excited to get out of New York finally. I was Kurt Russell, eye patch, escaped from New York, and I had my chance to go to Austin. And I had some other events, a confluence of events, and I kind of popped out of thinking long enough to go, holy cow, I didn't even know thinking existed. And I don't think a lot of all the people you see on social media, like on Twitter, X, and so on, they're doing the best they can. Every single one of them is getting an A+ for at their consciousness level, what they're allowing for them. They might be at the top of their game on NFL fantasy football analysis or astrophysics or UAP discoveries and FOIA requests. But there's so much more available. If you want to actually meet beings of light or non-corporeal energy-based life forms that can show up as full humans, or you can see them right there, that answers the whole SETI, METI, Are We Alone in the Universe, Carl Sagan stuff. That's more important than what the Pentagon did or what this defense contractor did. There's a bigger message. It's not about nuclear weapons, weapons in space, this technology, that technology, and what bad actor might be doing over there. That's like trying to convince a drunk to not drink anymore or an alcoholic to not drink anymore. If you want to go down that path, go for it. But that's kind of interfering with how other people are spending their energy. Everyone is spending their energy how they think they should be spending their energy. I've never met anybody who gets their boots on in the morning and says, I want to go waste all my energy today as much as possible. Or I've never met anybody who's like leaving the bar or a supermarket and says, I'm going to go waste my energy for the next week. But that's exactly what we all do, not all the time, but a good portion of our time. Ego's a waste of energy. Thinking's a waste of energy. We're going to do tons of thinking and wasting of energy. Same thing with climate change and everything else. One angel said, it's not up to humans to fix anything. We're sharing this planet. We call it multidimensional experiences here, or interdimensional, whatever. We're not alone. We're being looked out for. We're protected. Don't freak out about extraterrestrial life or whatever you want to call this. Love is the fabric of the universe. If I had to tell you like the 5 things I think I've learned in 12 years. Love's the fabric of the universe. Trust more, allow more, your love. All you have to do is pump the brakes on all the thinking and knowing and freaking out and the stress and the worry and the judging. We are like judging like crazy. It's like trying to be at the Indianapolis 500 and hand out speeding tickets. I've never seen people write tickets and try to stick them on a car windshield that's going 200 miles an hour. They're just not going to stick. People are doing what they're doing. A little more awareness, a little more listening could lessen the conflict on this planet by 50%. Mankind's ready for less rat race mode, more kindness, more gentleness, more compassion, more fun, more sparkliness. You want to put your hand out and see an angel in your hand and bring it in for a hug? I do that all the time for folks. You can do it. You don't even need to listen to me more than like 10 seconds. I'm saying, hey, possibility is the world, the universe is far bigger than you're appreciating right now. Imagine, though, what happens to the scientific community when they get jiggy with it. Imagine what happens when they let go with this whole evidence-based everything. That's a great way to hold things up for an extra 30 years. It's like a ton of bureaucracy. Basic listening is basic listening. If you've got the guts to show up, ask a question, listen, write the answer down. In my opinion, at the rate this is going in 12 years, you deserve a town monument in your local little square. It takes a lot of bravery, a lot of like letting go of what you thought you knew. But the same applies to every little quadrant. Everyone's at some sort of a consciousness level. Everyone's doing the best that they can. You got to love them and support them for exactly who and where they are. Practicing more love, more unconditional love, more compassion is also part of the name of the game. So that's it. There's photos of angels, videos. Go check out the website. You can pick one up for $3, carry it around on the phone. Photos that are in light energy form will move, sometimes flash a different color, pulse. People from New Zealand, Europe got Charlotte, the blue ball light. She's been moving in the photo a little bit more. You can catch an incense smell from another country, from Thailand, and get the most exotic, exquisite incense that you can't buy in any store. It's the universe bringing you that. You can change the direction of the desert wind. What does that mean? Read The Alchemist, or just ask an angel. Ask a jinn, whose East Asian mysticism, a fine oriental garbed fellow, petite, almost like a Winnie the Pooh shaped figure, petite compared to all the tall angels and stuff like that. He's just the Encyclopedia Britannica meets the Energizer Bunny. He's a fine fellow, just wonderful, lots of enthusiasm. You can meet Kupuna Auntie Margaret out of Hawaii. That's more on the indigenous side. You can also unlock all your intuitive skills. If you're meant to be like a hands-on healer, angels can unlock your hands for you. You can see light more. You can appreciate your own pets more. You can appreciate the loved ones around you, your family members. If you've been rejecting that cousin because they're asking you for money every single day, you can go beyond those dynamics to see the bigger picture. You can hear about your past lives. I suggest not getting caught up on that. You can do a little bit of travel with angels, a little bit like out of Christmas Carol. Again, any answers to any questions, you're supposed to be doing something completely different with your life, living in a different place, doing a different job. You can go beyond words, have a symphony of light come your way. So it's really slow to write down all your answers. Again, 49 pages in 9 hours is the record, but that takes some time. You can get a symphony of light that goes beyond words and you just have the understanding. Whoa. You can walk the Akashic Records with your eyes shut. There's a lot of different ways the Akashic Records will show up. Angels will just do it the appropriate way for you. You can chat with Carl Jung, Einstein, and have a blast. They are so sparkly and so wonderful, you'll fall over. How many people would sign up to do that? Yeah, on paper it sounds good, but thinking gets the best of us. It gets us all. We always have something else to do. So consider this. If you've got to clean your garage out, talk about meeting angels and watch how fast suddenly cleaning your garage out is going to be. It's going to be more appetizing to your ego. Your ego is going to crack. It's not sophisticated at all. It's going to be like, okay, I'll let you clean the garage as long as we never talk about angels again. It doesn't want to lose control. It's in the driver's seat for most of us as adults. It's driving the car, and you know what happens? The second you recognize the difference between here and here, unlove, love, compassion, judging, knowing to the preclusion of possibility versus more universal love, universal knowing. The second you realize what ego is about, it no longer has control over you. It gets kicked to the backseat of the car. You're still going to have tons of thinking the rest of your life, but just let it serve as a reminder when it pipes up. So this is such a great opportunity for you. If you want to clean the house, mow the lawn, do some hard cleaning out the attic, the closet, the car, the garage, this is it. I'm helping you clean your garage. Put out the concept to your brain about meeting angels, seeing angels full on. Even if you do it once, you might not ever do it again for 6 months, a week, a year, for the rest of your life. Your ego comes right back in and is like, whoa, okay, that happened once, we can't really deny it, but I don't want you to ever be this much love or opening openness again or having that much fun or that free. That's why the news is the news and the political parties are the political parties, and you can get all the judging, reacting, hatred, stress, fear, guilt, worry, all the low vibe stuff anytime. Just look at social media. You can also look at social media and see all the high vibe, happy, animal videos and all the reminders to just relax. It's up to you how you want to flow your energy. But go to the website, check it out, watch YouTube. There's at least about, I'm going to say 70 shows out now. We did 50 last year. We're going to 2 shows a week in June of 2024, and we're booked all the way into January of 2025. So about 140 shows. Incredible guests from all over the world, professors, researchers, near-death experience people, New York Times bestsellers, doctors, ton of doctors, all different types, psychiatrists, a Delta Force operator retired who's also a Green Beret and an MMA fighter and boxer, you wouldn't, Miss USA, actors, actresses, an Australian actor who's just absolutely so much fun. You can meet many different figures I haven't mentioned. Ananda Mayama, Elvis, Anthony Bourdain, Debbie Ford. It's just a huge loving crowd, but it gets back to what will you allow for? I think you'll find if you let the brain answer, it's one and done. You're like, thank you very much, but no thank you. Your heart's like, hey, let's get to it. I'm ready. And your heart would do the same thing at a pool party. If there's a pool right there, a lot of us, if it's a party especially, we might circle the pool, talk about it, be like, not this party. I don't want to get in the pool. I'm the type that takes an hour just to get up to my knees. But there's other people who are like, pool, are you kidding? Bam, cannonball, and they're right into the pool. This is like bungee cord, bridge, and jump. It's sort of like ballooning, getting in a balloon. I'm never getting in a hot air balloon, touch wood, or a small airplane. I mean, there's a lot of good examples where you just won't catch me doing this stuff. The brain has a certain way of just putting the kibosh on more fun, freedom-loving experience, but your heart knows exactly what to do every time. Okay, this is Michael Andre Ford in Texas, your American Angel Intuitive, or really your guide to the universe. I help you discover more how you're already fully connected to the universe, and also just I try to remind you of everything the universe can provide. Love, healing, light, seeing light everywhere, every type of answer imaginable, a newer circle of friends, a newer set of experiences if you're looking for a little more gusto. The real question is, what will you allow for? Go to Amazon, amazon.com/author/angels, and find my little Listening to Angels book. I wrote it so quickly it was crazy. I was seeing balls of light as I'm typing. If anyone ever thought that I wrote the book, thank you. Greatest compliment ever. Clearly angels wrote the book. It's a 20-minute read. There's 7 photos of angels in there. I charge $3 at my website for each of those photos. That'd be $21 that way. It's a deal. It's a cinch. Anita Moorjani, the New York Times bestseller, 3 times New York Times bestseller, did a beautiful endorsement for me for that book. I've been to Omega Institute. I've been on a lot of shows. I've helped a lot of folks out. I've had to donate the time. I gave my service away for 8 years straight for free. I hung a shingle out. I still am donating time because people have yet to embrace the concept of no limits here. You can literally see all these figures. You can do it jointly. Get any answers. What else can I say over and over again for a dozen years to humanity? Anyone will listen. That's it. Own what you got. Have more fun. Share a little more love and sparkle and joy and compassion with everyone. Okay, Michael Andre Ford in Texas, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, share. Let's get this up to 1 million followers and a lot of people enjoying angels. Thank you again.